New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Good morning. It's Saturday morning on the New Thought Media Network, and welcome to the Science of Mind and Spirit Conversation Series. I'm Reverend Barbara Jean Schreiner Trudell, and I am the founder and spiritual director of the Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake in Toronto, Canada. My pronouns are she, they. There is a team of us, as you probably saw in the opening graphic, and every Saturday morning we join you here on the New Thought Media Network to share the science of mind, the principles, the practice, and more than anything else, how to apply these principles in your life today. So if you're watching live, I'd love it if you'd put a little greeting in the chat and let us know you're here, because we always love to see who is watching with us. And if you feel up to it, throw a little comment or a question into the chat, and we'll be sure to check that out and fold it into the process. So, how does the program work? Well, from January to July, we go through the Science Mind textbook chapter by chapter. And then in the last remaining months, we explore the articles and resources of the Science Mind Library and Archives, which is available 24/7 to help us go even deeper. We can read more of Ernest Holmes' writings and other resources related to the science mind specifically. And there are so many resources that we refer to, and you can find all of them at the archives at sciencemindarchives.com. Yes. Well, our topic today you can find on the Science Mind magazine, August of 1944, page 58. It's called Transformation Through New Thought by Raymond Charles Barker. And of course, you can get that magazine on the Science of Mind archives. Yes, you can. Well, I'm really excited about this article. When I found the Science of Mind, it was a truly transformative, life-changing experience for me. And so I know that that's true for many of us. And the article starts off with, "There is nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come." Don't we know that's true? New thought is an idea of the nature and processes of God whose time has come. Ideas of religion are eternally in a state of flux, and new thought is a fresh interpretation of the reality of the spiritual universe designed to fit the needs of the 20th century. An essential belief of new thought is that the universe is an intelligent creation of an intelligent mind. Don't you just love that? Thinking of this divine God, spirit, whatever you want to call it, as intelligent. And it really does make sense when you think of everything that occurs in the world, everything that's occurring in our bodies, all of it quite remarkable. So back of all of this is this incredible intelligence. And this mind is God. Right? That's the key. The older theologians have proclaimed God as the creator, but have not always given a logical or intelligent outline for the method by which the creator becomes the created. So the New Thought movement, which its understanding of God as mind, explains creation as a logical result of the divine mind giving birth to ideas. Hi, Wayne. Glad you're here. So the process is an eternal one, for creation is never complete. So when we go through this process, moment by moment, day by day, the thoughts we're thinking, of course, are creating. And I think we know that. I think we can see it in our lives that we'll think of our friend Mary and the phone will ring and guess what? It's Mary. Things like that. And we go, wow, isn't that weird? But is it? Isn't it just a natural way of this intelligent universe expressing through and around each and every one of us? And so I get really excited when I see those little synchronicities because it reminds me that there's more going on than I can see, touch, and feel. So I had a very cool experience this summer when I was in Nova Scotia. My family did a road trip to Nova Scotia. It was wonderful. And my daughter has a girlfriend who lives in Nova Scotia, and we thought it'd be great to see her while we were there. And they texted and tried to find a way of making it happen, but it didn't happen at all. Now, my oldest son, was with us, and he was saying, oh, we got to go to this pizza joint because my friend says it's the best pizza in the world. It was pretty good, I gotta say. So we're at this pizza joint, and all of a sudden, my daughter gets a little flash on her phone. I don't know, from some app. And it shows that her friend that we have not been able to connect with is like 2 blocks away from where we are at that moment. Synchronicity? I don't know. I think that which is meant to be together is brought together. And this was just a prime example of that occurring. Another funny example is when I met my husband. We're sitting in a cafe and just reading my book. He's reading his book. We're sitting kind of across from each other, but don't know each other. And a woman comes up and starts chatting with him and says, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And then, is that your wife? So I lowered my book to take a look at him, and he looked at me for a long time, had this smile on his face, and then after a very long pause, turned to her and went, no. I burst out laughing, and of course, a few months later, well, here we are, 22 years after that. So the journey that we're on and the way that we live and the things that we do, all of it is coming from mind. What we're thinking about, what we're speaking about, what we're imagining for our life experience, of course, is moving into this creative process. And what happens is we might be sitting back doing affirmations, maybe for wealth, maybe we want more money in our lives, and we'll be affirming for that to happen. But in the back of our mind, there's doubt. And how we know there might be doubt is, a bill comes in the mail and you slip it in the bottom drawer of your desk and quickly close the drawer, hoping that it'll somehow disappear. That's sending a message to the universe that we don't believe we have enough. So when we're doing spiritual mind treatment, when we're working within this intelligence, we can transform our lives in a really, truly remarkable way. And I know when I came into New Thought, my life was very, very messy. It's a little more straightened out now, thank you goodness. But as I came into New Thought, I had no idea what I was getting into, but I knew that it felt right. There was a feeling I had when I walked into that very first Science of Mind Center, and I thought, wow, this feels like love. And what I mean by love is just a warmth and a comfort and a feeling of acceptance and a peacefulness. Like it was just like a big warm hug. And I loved that experience. So I think sometimes it's really important for us to release our old beliefs about religion and begin to embrace the idea that each one of us is creative, that we're all creating our lives, and that creation is happening with the universe. You see, there's only one thing going on, and we're all a part of it. So there is God, but God is being me, and God is being you. And if that's the case, then why is it that we're fretting and worrying and all upset about things? Well, I had my upset yesterday, so I'm not exempt from those, by the way. But there's something that goes on that when we get a new understanding of God, we begin to get a new understanding of what's possible for our individual lives. So I see God as energy. everywhere present. And you know what that means? It's right where you are. Not only is it right where you are, not only is it surrounding you, it is being you. So everything you think, say, and do is moving through this universal intelligence. So your thoughts matter. The words you speak matter. Your intention behind those words matters. So when you take a look at your life overall and you get a sense of, what am I feeling or what am I going through or what's going on in my life, it's really important to really take time in meditation to begin to see the patterns of thought that run when we're not paying attention. Because we're thinking all the time, right? So there's a couple things we can do that really help to transform our lives by using this teaching. And one of them, of course, is spiritual mind treatment. And what we're doing in treatment is we're sitting back and we're proclaiming that there's only one power. We're acknowledging that because there's only one, it's right here where I am, and that all that I have need of is already right where I am. So we begin to change the narrative, not from an external sense, but from an internal sense. And one of the greatest ways to understand what it is we need or where the transformation needs to occur, of course, is in our meditation practice. When we take time in the silence, what you'll notice, or at least what I've noticed, is my mind runs rampant. Like the minute I sit down to meditate, it's, oh, did you turn the stove off? Oh, shoot, you forgot to go get this. Oh, did you remember to call Mary? Oh, all the mind is going wild, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And it's okay. It really is okay. Because meditation isn't about stopping that. Meditation is about training the mind so that it thinks along lines that are far more productive, that allow you to live the life you'd really like to live rather than the one that's currently running you, right? And so I know it's really important to take a little bit of time to explore what's going on. So our bodies, for example, our bodies give us messages. And if you have pain in your body and you allow yourself to just drop your awareness into the area of pain, you can ask the question, what do I need now? And the key is to intuitively listen to whatever thought pops up. And it might seem obscure, it might seem weird or odd. Pay attention. I think the big thing that we need to do is remember that Science of Mind isn't really a religion. It's a spiritual practice that's very practical. Everything we do is based around taking our thinking to a new level, taking our daily habits out of the kind of blind wandering that it sometimes can be, and make it very clear and concise as to where we want to go and what it is we want to do. Raymond Charles Barker says in here, the New Thought movement, with its understanding of God as mind, explains creation as a logical result of the divine mind giving birth to ideas, which ideas take form. So when we're thinking and meandering and our mind is, like a little 3-year-old in a candy store, jumping here, jumping there, getting wild and crazy, what we want to do is begin to tame it. And just like a little child learning to walk, they're going to stumble and fall, as will we when we begin our meditation practice. But if we will take the time every day to just take a moment to calm down, take a breath, and allow the body to settle. Not worry about the mind. See, when my mind wanders in meditation, when I notice that it's wandering, then I just take a breath and I go, all right, back to whatever my focus is. Sometimes my focus is my breathing. Sometimes my focus might be a chant, Om Namah Shivaya, something that brings me focus. So I come back to that focus, but I do it in a way that's very gentle. I don't get upset that my meditation wasn't working. I come back and go, yes, back to my focus. Meditation is one of the most powerful ways to find out what's happening in the subconscious mind. Because, of course, we might be thinking, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. And in the subconscious, we're going, oh my God, I'm so broke. The subconscious is going to win. When we plant seeds into the subconscious, the universe then says yes. It's saying yes to that because that's what we believe. It is done unto you as you believe. And sometimes we think by saying certain words that changes it, but it doesn't. There has to be an embodiment. There has to be a true understanding. And that's why when we do treatment, we always start with there is one power. And we stay with that first step of treatment until we truly recognize that there is only one thing going on. When we can feel that energy in our body, like, yes, it's kind of like putting a key in a lock and click when you unlock it. That's kind of the feeling when you know you've connected. And it's in that connection that we begin to create consciously. Now, oftentimes when things happen, we react. I know I do. About you, Wayne, but but I know I do sometimes. And this week was, one of those weeks where I did that. I fell on Monday and dislocated my shoulder and fractured the top part of the humerus bone and was in a lot of pain. And I can assure you, I was not thinking, I am peaceful, healthy. I kept saying, Jesus. I'm not sure if I was calling Jesus in to heal me or if I was just not wanting to say anything more vile in front of the EMS. I'm not sure. But when we are in pain, we will forget. But what we need to do then is pick up the phone or have a friend pick up the phone and connect with the people around us who can support us at our time of need. And it doesn't matter if you're a minister or if you're a first-time Science Mind student. We're human. We're human and we have human experiences. And it's up to us to understand that to transform our lives doesn't mean nothing bad will ever happen again. What it means is how we handle those events is different. So I can still smile and show up today and be in physical pain. Just is what it is. Doctor says 6 weeks to heal. All right. First week, probably the worst one. But as it heals, it will get better and better. But in the meantime, I have a choice. I can whine and moan, and believe me, I do some of that. Or I can turn around and remind myself, let me go into meditation, which is what I've been doing for many hours a day, actually, is going into meditation and asking the question, what do I need now? The other thing I've often done whenever I've injured myself or had a strained neck or got a bad cold, I'll ask myself, what was I thinking right before it occurred? And you know what's remarkable about that is I'll have that, and then all of a sudden something will pop into my mind and I'll go, oh my goodness, that's what I was thinking about. So I have a very embarrassing situation very similar to that where, I've been a little overweight for a while and my husband and I, we work a lot. And so sometimes we grab fast food for dinner. We're doing less of that now, but there was a time when it was pretty regular. And so he phones me, I'm driving home, it's like 7 o'clock at night, and he says, look, stop at McDonald's and grab us something because we don't have time to cook and you're working in another hour. And it just was going on and on. So as I'm driving to McDonald's, I'm thinking in my mind, this is the last place on earth I should be eating. Yeah. Yeah, we do all live in a yellow submarine. So I pull in, place the order for Pierre and I start driving forward, and a woman kind of cuts in front of me, and then she shouts out her window at me because I sort of went, whoa. And she shouts out at me, going, I'm next. I'm like, oh, all righty. And she's like, and anyway, what are you doing eating here? This is the last place on earth you should be eating. You're so fat. I thought, I immediately went, "Oh my goodness," like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard a human being say to another one. Well, probably not the worst, but anyway, worst that's come to me for a while, and, I was just bowled over by it, and as I was driving home, I thought, "Oh my goodness, she was a perfect manifestation of the thought I had right before I pulled into the drive-through." So I started laughing. I started laughing because she just said what I was thinking. So how could I really get mad at her? The journey that we're walking is truly, you know, we're like little toddlers in this grand universe, and we're, stumbling along like a little child, tripping and falling and getting back up and trying again. And that's what we got to do. We just got to keep moving forward. We got to take each day as it comes and love the fact that we can draw a breath. Pardon me, that we can be here. Further on in the article, he says this process is an eternal one, for creation is never complete. Sometimes we get the idea, I'm done now. No, no, no. We're never done. We're never done. There's always creation happening. And that's what's so exciting. This could be the worst moment ever, but this too will pass. It could be the best moment ever, and this too will pass. So as we work our way through this journey called life, being spiritual is not the problem. It's being human. Being human, because we think that's the end all be all of everything. But the truth is, we are, in fact, spiritual beings. And we're having this human experience, which can be so exciting unless we judge it, criticize it, uh, compare ourselves to others. We really want to make sure that we're paying attention to our lives. Let's leave everybody else alone. Yes, yes, no judging other people. We do that, don't we? We judge others. And I think sometimes when I'm in a place of judgment, I'll ask myself, ooh, what have I not accepted in me? What in me am I rejecting? What message did I get in my life that told me I'm bad if I were to do this? Because everything that we're reacting to in this emotional, I'm right kind of way is a reflection of something that's going on inside of us. So, again, that transformation through new thought happens when we begin to take this teaching and use it. Ernest Holmes talked a little bit about, too much knowledge and too little practice won't get us very far. Ain't that the truth? We want to really sit back with these tools and make it a habit to get up each day and begin in meditation, to end each day in gratitude. And one thing I would add to that I really like is sometimes we don't get maybe the appreciation we would like to get, but you can give it to yourself. Yes, you can. So, one of the things I like to do at the end of the day is to reflect on my day and ask myself, what have I done today that I feel proud about? And it could be something really small, and it could be something huge. But whatever it is, we need to take the time, give ourselves a little pat on the back, and say, hey, you're doing good. You're doing okay. We need to look in the mirror every day and tell ourselves, I love you. I really love you. When we look in our own eyes and utter that phrase, we're receiving a blessing. It doesn't have to come from somebody outside of us. We need to realize that we are responsible for our care. We are responsible for our journey. We're responsible for our choices and the way that we think. That's all up to us. No one else can think my thoughts. I'm the one inside this head, nobody else. So I want to make sure that what I'm thinking about and what I'm doing is in alignment with the principles that I'm teaching or learning here in the Science of Mind. The New Thought movement is a powerful movement. Now, this was written in 1944. There is nothing so powerful as an idea whose time has come. And that's still true today. Today, we can sit back and say, wow, this idea, its time has come. And it's time for us to really share this. And one of the things he wrote in here was, as each person turns from race beliefs in sin, sickness, lack, and death to the living ideas of life eternal, opulence, radiant health, and permanent harmony, we will create for ourselves a wonderful world in which we will live as an intelligent spiritual being. I like that. It's like as we practice, as we come into harmony with this divine one, as we begin to shift from the place of victim to victor, as we begin to realize that everything that happens through us, not to us. And it's so important to remember that. And in the next paragraph, he says, New Thought is not so much a religion as it is an approach to spiritual truth. An approach to spiritual truth. I really like that. Because as we look at spiritual truth, if we can come to an understanding that God is intelligent, that God is everywhere present equally, that God is all powerful, that God is all knowing, and I think most of us would agree with most of that, we have to then realize God is being me. Which means what? Means I am powerful. I am creative. That all that sustains me is this infinite power. So why do I play small? You know that song? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Maybe we should. Maybe we should start shining our light, not in an arrogant, narcissistic way, but in a truly honest, appreciative way of how we were created, unique and special. Each and every one of us created perfect, whole, and complete. That doesn't mean my behavior is perfect, whole, and complete. It just means that I'm created that way. God doesn't create junk, right? An intelligent universe isn't making things that are broken. An intelligent universe is breathing life into form, and that form can be whatever, and all of it has some impact on the entire tapestry of humanity, of the universe itself. And so we journey deeper by recognizing who we really are. So at the end of the day, when we practice gratitude, we're going through the day and saying, what was really great today? What do I feel really good about today? And then we can sit back and say, wow, I'm grateful that my husband was able to help me through this time of limitation, or apparent limitation, shall we say, that he can help me to dress or to fix my sling or whatever needs to be happening, right? I'm blessed in that way. So when it comes to the end of the day, the first thing I am is grateful for my husband, grateful for all of the things that he does that makes my life so much easier. And of course, when we start being grateful for each other, there's a harmony that comes back to us. When we are grateful for the people around us, what happens is they seem to be more willing to be supportive of us. And it's really, really a beautiful thing. So we're journeying along and we're finding our way. You know, in all the books that I read, one of them that I really like is The Little Soul and the Sun by Neale Donald Walsch. And what I like about that is the fact that, you know, maybe when we came into this life, we came in with a plan, with a strategy. We came in knowing there was something we wanted to experience. and that everything that's happening in our life right now is assisting us in achieving that dream. And that, other little souls came in and are here to help us along the way. And they might help us by being mean to us so that we can practice forgiveness, or by being super wonderful to us so we can practice appreciation. Whatever we're feeling, whatever we're going through, whatever is happening around us, all of it is moving us if we will allow it. Now, sometimes we get resistant. Well, sometimes I get resistant. Let me not mix you into that. Let me just say, I sometimes get resistant. So I'll be resistant to what is. So one of the things I'm resistant to is perspiration. I get hot and I sweat and I don't like it. Silly thing, right? But that is something that I was laughing about the other day because it's been a problem for a long time, or it's been an experience for a long time. Let's change the name. And I realized that my resistance to it, my dislike of it, my focus on it is the very thing keeping it in place, firmly planted right where I don't want it to be. Because that's how it works. What you resist persists. So we want to learn how to surrender. We want to learn how to let go, to look at whatever's happening in life and just appreciate that whatever's happening in life is happening, but it is impermanent. So it's going to change, it's going to move, it's going to go somewhere. Something different is going to come. And when we start to get comfortable with that idea, we start to see how the process of life becomes so much easier. When I think about things like heaven and hell, which is taught in some religions, for me, heaven and hell are states of consciousness. When I fell on Monday night, I was kind of in hell. Today, doing this class, I feel like I'm in heaven. It's not a vacation destination point. It's an experience we have in the here and now. And we have the ability to live in that state of heaven's grace. And the way we do that is to acknowledge that each and everything that's happening is temporary, and that by using meditation, spiritual mind treatment, gratitude, appreciation, kindness, these things help us to begin to streamline the way our life experience is going. We begin to move in a way that creates a positive energy rather than a negative. Because just because I fell, that doesn't make it negative. It makes it an opportunity for me to experience something new. And it's an opportunity for my husband and I to maybe get closer. And my daughter and I, who she's also been helping. So the things that we go through may very well be opportunities for someone else. So my discomfort and my disabilities in the moment may well be serving the abilities of someone else to be able to give their kindness to me. You see, we're all in this together. There isn't you and me, there is only one power, one thing going on. And that one thing is life. And it's forever moving, transforming, recreating, shifting, but it's constantly in flux. That's what we're working with. And it responds to our thinking, and more importantly, what we believe to be true. If you believe that being right is the most important thing in the world to you, then you will fight tooth and nail to be right in every situation. But if you decide that your life's mission is to be happy, being right all of a sudden isn't very important. Used to be for me. I used to think being right was the end all be all. And then one day I thought, this really is painful. because I want to be right and they want to be right and everybody wants to be right. And oh, yay, now we have a war. But what if we all just sat back and stayed in our own lane? I like to think of it that way. I live in my lane, and my lane says that I'm responsible for my experience. I'm responsible to change things in my life if I don't appreciate them. I have the power to do all that, but I don't have the power to change your life, Wayne. Nope. I might say something that you find inspiring, which allows you to then do whatever it is you want to do with it. But I can't change anybody else. Can't change my children. Can't change my husband. But I can change myself. And I can do that by changing my mind. As I begin to honor where I am and how I am, as I begin to journey along, following this idea that there is a process, an eternal one for creation, and that it's never complete, that it's always ongoing. If I can live in that energy and allow that to keep moving, all of a sudden life gets a little bit easier because I'm not forcing it. We cannot manipulate the universe. We can sit back and read affirmations till the cows come home, and it will not change our finances one iota unless we believe what we're saying. And the reasons our finances might be strained is because we don't believe it. Somehow, money is a funny thing, isn't it? Money is a really funny thing because money feels like it has power, but it doesn't. It's just energy. It's just energy flowing. That's all. Just like you, just like me, just like our computers. It's just energy, just flowing. But when I think it's hard to get, I get to be right. If I think I'm broke, I get to be right. If I believe I'm poor, I get to be right. But if I believe that there's possibility, if I use my imagination to see an abundant, glorious world, if I can see myself, begin to believe the possibility of having all that I have need of at all times, what happens is their shift begins to occur. And we start to see plenty where maybe there wasn't before. We begin to see possibility. So I invite you to really take a look at, the things that are happening in your life and how you feel about them. And remember, whatever you resist persists. So if you're one who doesn't want to look at a bill because you're afraid of how big it is, look at it. Look at it, feel what you're feeling, okay? No spiritual bypass. Feel what you're feeling. Wow, I'm afraid I don't have enough. I'm afraid I can't do this. I'm afraid that I'm going to be broke. I'm afraid. Let yourself feel all of that and then go into treatment. And stay in that first step until you feel the presence of God as you just feel that energy surging through you and you get a complete understanding that yes, it's right here. Then we can begin to shift it, move it, and change it. And if you're not in Science Mind classes, I invite you to start because they are the best. When I started so many years ago, it's, I don't know, 35 years or something. When I started, it was like, I don't know, I thought the whole world was bad and wrong and everything's against me and life is hard and then it gets worse. And it wasn't until I changed that I began to experience something different. I changed the word hard for the word easy. They're both 4 letters, so not a lot of effort to change it. But the meaning behind it is huge. Life is easy. Life is beautiful. Life is remarkable. Life is a gift. We're here for a little moment, just a speck of time. And we're here to experience living. And that means there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be moments of grief and moments of sorrow and moments of elation and bliss. And all of it is good. Yes. So we transform our lives. We transform our journey by beginning to look at things from a different vantage point. So I invite you to keep reading your Science Mind magazines, your Science Mind textbook. Be sure to read the original 1926 version of the Science Mind. Fabulous, fabulous. It was the way he wrote it first before it was edited into the textbook. And it is remarkable. And I invite you to go to Science Mind Archives and see what's there. There is a ton of material there that is so brilliant. And if you take the time to read through some of that, it's really going to help you to transform. And be sure to take out maybe a membership in the Science Mind Archives. $10 a month, you can access all of their materials. And that is a really, really great thing to do. So I just want to say that as we're coming to a close here, I just want to say that I am so very grateful that you joined here this morning, that we could be together. And I want you to remember that we're here every week. Every Saturday morning, there's a new person here that is going to share with you some remarkable wisdom for a half hour, 45 minutes, whatever, a nice little kickstart to your weekend joy. And be sure to go to ntmedia.org and donate. We are a charitable organization, and the donations of our members is really what keeps New Thought Media going. So we really appreciate all that you do and all that you are. I'm Reverend Barbara Jean, and I am with the Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake in Toronto. And I'm delighted to be here doing the Science of Mind and Spirit Speaker Series this Saturday morning. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you all next time. Have a most wonderful day.